Brilliant. Hello, it's great to see you all. It's a really funny thing that I didn't know who was going to be here. So as soon as everyone comes in from the waiting room, I'm like, oh, it's you. Oh, hello. See, I've met you before. So it's really nice to see you and so many people here. I'm in a rather rainy attic in Sheffield, I'm afraid. So I hope you can hear me all okay for this session. It was brilliant to be asked to lead a session on props and puppets. Especially, I felt like I could actually justify to myself and to my family having a spare room jam-packed of props and puppets, like I'm sure a lot of you have, and having not really used them at all for the last year, very sadly. So it was nice to get various things out and to remember what I used to do. And it's reminded me of quite a few things that I used to do quite a long time ago. So hopefully this will be a bit of a refresher to everybody and share some songs. I'm sure some of you will know some of the things we're going to do, particularly as one or two of these I'm sure that I've picked up at NYMAZ events in the past. And I'm sure everyone can add to what we're talking about. We're going to talk about what props we can use, and we're going to think about why it's good to use props, and there are loads of practical songs. So ideally, normally we'd all be in a big room and we'd all hear everyone's amazing singing and we could interact off each other, but we can't do that. But please do join in wholeheartedly as possible. I can see everyone's faces, so it'd be great to see lots of smiley singing faces. I'm sure all of you know when you look at a great big crowd of smiley young children, it definitely makes you feel more positive about what you're doing. Do keep yourselves muted because of the delay, but I'm imagining your singing voices, and I know you're going to be brilliant singers already. So it would be great if you have got another device and a sock ready, not to forget the sock for in a little bit. But for now, if you've got another device like a mobile, or you can open another page on your internet. But we're going to do a little Mentimeter. I've seen this done a few times, but it's a really great way of having a bit of a discussion without being able to talk. So I'm just going to share my screen with our Mentimeter. Whoops, where's it gone? How do I move that? Right, hold on a second, sorry, let's get this here. NYMAZ. Okay, so here is what I'd like you to find. I'd like you to go onto mentimeter.com and you can either scan that code or you can type in the numbers 1238201. And now we are going to have a look at that Mentimeter. And our first question that we're going to talk about is why use props? Why are props a good thing for us to use in the early years? So put in any ideas. It can be a few words or a sentence or whatever you think. Brilliant. So we're getting some in already. Exciting, unique, fun. It supports learning, engaging, visual, adds variety, another level to the session. Engaging, fun, instigates conversation, amazing. Let me shuffle this down a bit. It holds the children's interest, absolutely. Engaging visually, accessible, engagement, relatable. It brings safe, encourages play, fun, engaging, adds characters, makes things more concrete. Yes, absolutely. Appeals to children, can reflect the participant, adds colour and movement, adds characters, develops new skills, confidence for the child. We can have conversations. Fantastic. Okay, so I think we can save that one and we can come back to that in a bit. Let's now pause that share. And let's go to our second question. So, oops, let me find this, sorry. Oh, I hate technology so much. So our second question is, what props do we use? And yeah, add your ideas for what props you use. A stick, oh, I love it. The first one's a stick, brilliant. Lycra, scarves, parachute, puppets, toys, teddies, ribbons, blankets, bumblebee, feathers, crocheted mice, amazing. A mixing bowl, balls, wooden spoons. Now, the largest words are the numbers that are the ones that people have used several times. So lycra, puppets and scarves seem to be our most favoured at the moment. Dangly fish lycra, we might talk about that later. Knitted snowballs, oh, lovely. Stretchy bands, we might ask about those later. Light shows, brilliant. Duplo, brilliant. Okay, we could probably go on for ages. So let's, paper plates as well, lovely. Let's stop that share there then. Okay, so loads of ideas and lots of things that people are all doing already. So to, sorry, let me just get back on here. Brilliant. So one of the things that I particularly feel, I do use a lot of props. I have a lot of props at home, and I love to plan props into sessions. Like we said, I really feel like they bring sessions to life, add those visuals and are really colourful, being an equaliser. So as several other people put, we're all special. If we've all got a spoon, it's different from someone having a violin. We're all the music makers. We're all the creative people. A good distractor. I know someone saw in there about this distraction of a puppet or a prop brings the focus away from the child to the props. Speech and language, we'll talk a lot about that in a bit. A lot of my projects are focused on developing speech and language. I've led quite a few youth music funded projects over the last nearly 20 years, and particularly with children at elevated risk of delay or special educational needs, and English as an additional language. The props and puppets are just ideal for that, as I'm sure lots of you believe. Especially supporting storytelling and characterization. Again, a lot of my concerts are storytelling. In fact, Mambo Jumbo are here. We've done they're in this session, Pete and Frankie. We've done lots of stories and concerts together, and using puppets, especially in things like Giraffes Can't Dance, just gives that extra energy to the story concerts. I also present with orchestras and ensembles, and whilst we don't use puppets on stage for that, partly because the venues are so big, we often have screens with images, but in a lot of the preparation workshops for that we use puppets a lot, so that we can really explore the characters. So I presented the Gruffalo's Child with the London Philharmonic Orchestra, and lots of Gruffalo related activities with puppets and props and sets and costumes, to support the experience of when they come to that concert. And I also like to use props and percussion for sensory exploration. So I run my own concert series called Concertinis, based in Sheffield, although travelling further afield normally. And they have a real focus on listening, and concert live music experiences. So they're very much teaching very young children to listen alongside their grown-ups, and more often than not, teaching their grown-ups to listen and share music together. Talk about this quite a bit, but one of the big battles for me is trying to persuade parents, especially, to not do the kind of running commentary that we do in our everyday lives of, let's talk about, I'm changing your nappy, oh, look at that, blah, 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 blah. And singing a song about changing a nappy, that's very different from listening together. And I feel like a concert's worked really well if a new mum with a tiny baby hasn't said a single word for 45 minutes, or with a toddler, if they can just listen together and have a shared experience together. And props and puppets really support that listening, to stimulate their listening experience. We'll talk about that a bit later as well. One of the big things I think came out of that mentor as well is that children learn best when they're enjoying themselves, and as close to anything that exaggerates the fact that music is playing is really important. You know, if you've got a cuddly toy, you're going to be much more engaged and having fun with your toys and your friends as you can, and that playful interaction together. So about the kind of why using props, I probably should add a little note that we're going to do loads of stuff with props today, and I wouldn't use this many in a normal session at all. And actually in some sessions I don't use any props and puppets. I think there's a bit of awareness that sometimes as music educators with young children, we kind of should use these props and puppets, but then we can almost go too far and kind of be this crazy, like, and wheelie everything and arrive with all this stuff. And we almost, I'm probably guilty of this as much as anyone, but almost do too much with that. And you don't focus enough on the singing, the engagement. You don't rely on your instruments or yourself to be the entertainer as well. But today we are talking about props and things. So, and also a great session I had was when I didn't have any of my props by mistake, and we just got the children imagining we had these props, and it I thought, oh God, we're just gonna have to do that. But it was brilliant. It was really lovely that they could absolutely use their imagination just as well as it, and it brought a whole new level to what we were doing. So that was lovely. I've gathered props and things over a very long time. I'm a bit of a sucker at any conferences or training sessions. Whenever there's a props table or somebody there selling, pick up something. So my room is quite full, but you can't see it, which is good at the moment. One of my other thoughts about props is that I think it's quite interesting what's happened over the last year that makes us reflect on props and puppets. I think a lot of early years practitioners or musicians, whatever you like to be called, leading music sessions from your own homes into other families' homes online, have had to really rethink how you use props and puppets, and how you can engage the children. And also parents have suddenly been thrown into this whole new world of home learning, and all of a sudden I'm not sure what the numbers are, but the sales of 5-minute mum books or the Instagram page 5-minute mums or Twinkle, all of a sudden our whole home is full of props and percussion and puppets, whether that's newly ordered on Amazon, or if you're making things, or you're finding and using things that you have in your home. So before there was this, a year ago, I would say that most of us had our kind of standard props and puppets bag that we'd generally use, which maybe had the core kind of 5 things in it. But nowadays, when I think about props and puppets and going forwards, I think it's a bit like a nursery or a home. Actually, anything can be used as a prop or a puppet or a stimulant for creative play musically. Although actually, I was reminded this morning when I was thinking about this that last April, early lockdown, I was asked to do a music project with a children's hospital, only using the things in a hospital room. And I had to turn it down at the point because I just was overwhelmed with life. But the thought of trying to make music using a bedpan and a straw and a table didn't really appeal at the time. However, I've done some other nice projects with the hospital in the meantime, so that's been good. So we're going to do some activities. We're going to get a bit practical. So if you have your sock to hand, that would be great. So if you could put your sock on your hand, but keep it out of view. And we're going to sing the baby finger tune, but we're going to sing to our socks. So when I sing the colour of your sock, I'd like you to bring them up onto the screen like puppets and make them sing, here I am, how do you do? Okay. If you don't have a sock, well, if you've got a sock on your foot, you might like to use that. Take it off your foot. You can put it back on in a bit, or just pretend with your hand and imagine what kind of sock you have. So it goes like this. Hello, rainbow socks. Hello, rainbow socks. Where are you? Here I am. Here I am. How do you do? Very good. Nice to see you, rainbow socks. Goodbye. Hello, black socks. Hello, black socks. Where are you? Here I am. Here I am. How do you do? Hello, black socks. Nice to see you. Hello, animal socks. Hello, animal socks. Where are you? Here I am. Here I am. How do you? A surprisingly large number of animal socks. Brilliant. Hello, spotty socks. Hello, spotty socks. Where are you? Here I am. Here I am. How do you do? Oh, spotty socks and a little baby. Amazing. Hello, socks. Hello, socks. Where are you? Here I am. Here I am. How do you do? Brilliant. So that song is great for any kind of introducing any kind of story or character songs. So Peter Rabbit, where are you? Or cheeky monkey, where are you? Here I am, how do you do? Any kind of if you're doing the Gruffalo story, Gruffalo, where are you? Here I am, how do you do? If you can't get the words to fit, you can always add in Mr. or Mrs. before. Or little snail, where are you? Here I am, how do you do? And then starting to use voices as well. So small animals have small voices. I often forget on Zoom to change dynamics because it's so random. So yeah, that's a nice, handy, very simple song. This next one is using a pop-up puppet. Oops. And this pop-up puppet, I need my keyboard as well, which I'm just going to plug in quickly. So here is our pop-up puppet. I do a bit of an introduction about who he is, where he's come from, what he has been doing today, what he has had to eat today, that kind of usual preamble. We don't have time for that today. So these are lovely. They're just on the stick. If you haven't used these, they're great for lots of different activities. And I thought I've got this one, which is a bit more precious. This is from Trulela Puppet Company. And then I've just got this one, which is much more, the kids can chuck it around and it's much easier for them to do. So different sizes of pop-up puppets for these. And I'd like you to keep your sock on your hand, actually. And I'm going to sing you some instructions, but I'm going to sing your sock puppet some instructions. I've not done this with socks before, nor online. This is all a learning experience. So have a listen to this. So I'm talking to the socks now. Can you please stand up? Hold your socks up high. Can you please sit down? Can you please stand up? Can you please sit down? Can you please stand up? Can you please sit down? Can you please stand up? Can you turn around? Touch your head. Touch your toes. Touch your head. Touch your toes. Can you turn around? Do the wiggly woo. Okay, great. This time I'm going to jump a few steps ahead, but can you just listen to the music and make your sock puppets do what they should do? Here we go. works quite nicely sat down with sock puppets. I might do that in real life. So then I would get a child to come up to the front normally and to do the puppets. Bit tricky just to get used to doing it, but they love it. And obviously, if all the children are standing up, sitting down, they think it's really funny. Up and down, up and down, up and down. And what amazing oral training. And they can do it. They can absolutely do it. But it's pretty advanced oral training. I wondered if anyone would like to share one or two brief activities or songs with a pop-up puppet, because actually I don't do that many with the pop-up puppet. Does anyone have one of these? Vicky, do you fancy unmuting yourself and just tell us a little bit about pop-up puppets?
You know what, Polly, I've just been telling my friend Ali that I have one of those lovely rabbits and I use it, but do you know what? I've had a massive brain block because the last time I took him out was in the nursery a year ago in March. So, gosh, that's when you got the rabbit out, I felt all a bit terrified because I don't use it on my skin classes because they're just too mixed ages. I've got babies and things. So, you know, you've inspired me.
Brilliant.
So what I do is I hide the rabbit away and then I say, I sing, hello, rabbity, and they have to sing, hello, rabbity, and I go, you know, and he's not coming out of his hat, so I tap the hat to get them to start singing. So when I tap the hat, I say, should we sing him out the hat because he's asleep and we've got to wake him up? So I tap the hat and I go, hello, rabbity, and then the children go, hello, rabbity, and, oh, you're not loud enough, I think you need to sing a bit louder. Then I tap the hat again, and that's the cue to sing hello until you can see where it's going. We get louder and louder, and then he pops up, and they all go, and then he pops away again. I said, oh, you've just woken him up, and he's got a headache. Let's sing really quietly, and so on and so forth. And then things like, you know, copy me with the rabbit, and probably loads of other stuff, but I've completely forgotten. Oh.
Yeah. So Kate's just written a note about using loud voices to get it out and quiet ones to make it go away, or counting to 3 and shout out. Yeah, really nice to use it in that way. Maybe the rabbit's a bit shy. You know, we need to often celebrate or encourage those more shy children. Perhaps they could be the equivalent of that rabbit in the hat. And it's all right to talk when you want to. Oh, someone made one out of a violin bow and an animal sock. Use it for dynamics. Amazing. That sounds great. Does anyone want to unmute and say any other vocal singing activity with one of those?
Yeah, I've used it for I can sing high, I can sing low, and you know, low, high, middle, things like that pitch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Works really well. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, great. I thought I'd just show people some of my spoons. I got a friend to paint these for me, but you can get them online. So story spoons or nursery rhyme spoons. So these have got nursery rhymes on each side. So you just pull them out and then you sing the songs. We did some Mini Beast ones. So that's just a spoon for those. And then the Gruffalo. So the Gruffalo one, we had all the different characters from the Gruffalo story. And it's kind of a way of just structuring the session or picking out which one, or the children come and choose which song they want. But again, I just really love that it adds that visual. It gives the children a way of choosing, for those especially who can't verbally explain. So you can get these from Mrs. Spoon online, I think she's called. I'll put a link. There's a handout that goes. I'll pop that onto that. So those are really fun. Scrunchie. So I've got this huge, great big scrunchie. For anyone who doesn't know what the scrunchies are, they're just a giant elastic, huge band that this can fit 30 children round in normal times. And this one is from Colourcraft, C-U-L-L-E-R Craft, and she makes them to order. So I asked her to do this one of different nursery rhymes. So this one's got sheep on it, stars, London buses, boats, tractors, space ships, lots of different songs. So again, the scrunchies are a little bit like Lycra, in that they're just great for this kind of collective feeling the pulse. But these ones, being nursery rhymes, are just great for if the children can suggest which song's coming up next. And also you can then say, you can choose the children not by their names. We can say if you've got the purple tube, and it's just that communication, better communication with the children. So Lycra, in the handout that will be sent out, I've added a big list of songs that I've created over the years, collated, of loads of songs. I think there's about 30 different songs on there that you can do using Lycra. One of my favourites being 5 Plump Peas. And if you don't know that one, everyone holds on to the Lycra. I've got some green Lycra actually that's best. So you hold on to the Lycra and you pull backwards, and your feet pop up higher in front of you. So your feet are the peas growing taller and taller, and your feet go higher and higher the more that the pea plants grow. And at the end, they go pop. So you let go and everyone falls backwards, which is great fun. I thought we might not do any Lycra songs today unless we have time at the end. But again, we could share some ideas. I mean, moving the Lycra up and down, side to side, shaking, putting things on the top of the Lycra, so balls, teddies, different fruit toys, so making a cake or making a food. Maybe on pancake day, you could add in ingredients to then pretend to be stirring, adding the ingredients, tossing the pancake. Then there's the joy of all joys, when you know that you're going to have to let the children go underneath, because that's basically all they want to do with Lycra. But what can you do with it? Because it normally ends up in chaos. But laying down underneath for lullabies, rivers, holding on over the top of them for river songs. There's a great song which I've just remembered that I did with Wigmore. Oh, who's that creeping underneath the river? Who's that creeping underneath the river? Who's that creeping? Who can it be? They'll give out. They're all out of sight. They'll give us a fright. Ah! And they jump up in their shape. I better dig that one out. And then the brilliant, which I've still never done myself, but holy Lycra. So if you have holes, cut holes in your Lycra, and then you can either put things up or down. So scarves hanging through, little fish, stars. Would anyone like to share some ideas about holy Lycra? I bet some of you have done holy Lycra. Holy. Maybe not. If anyone thinks of anything by the end when we have some, but maybe that's a challenge to all of us to all come up with a a song with Holy Lycra. Another little prop that I thought I'd show you, which I use similarly to Lycra, which I did see at a NYMAZ conference about 15 years ago, was these insulation tubes. So I just bought a long thing of foamy insulation tubes, cut them into different lengths, and then fed the Lycra through it. So this one's quite small, and I've put different coloured tape on the ends. So again, you can do things about colours, or everybody with the greens goes up, but everybody else holds them down. Row, row, row your boat. That generally helps, like Lycra, really feel that collective pulse. Does anybody else use these tubies? Does anyone else have any of them? They're quite fun, a different kind of visual. Great. I thought I'd show you a little song on my YouTube channel. This was quite early in lockdown, just a film that I did at home with my little, oh no, this isn't with my little boy, but I came up with it for my little boy. It's called 10 Little Tea Bags. And you can, there's a bit of an explanation at the beginning. And you can sing it at whatever you like, if you just sing it yourself. And you can use whatever props you have at home. So I'll share this. Some shreddies, 4 little 5 little. Right, sorry.
So here is a really fun counting and sorting game. In this, objects from your home, things, some tea bags, some washing pegs, and some raisins, and some trains and other things. And I've just put them in a
I'm just
bun
going
and
to
muffin.
shuffle this along, hopefully.
So here we go. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little tea bags, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little tea bags, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little tea bags, 10 little tea bags in a line. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little shreddies, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little shreddies, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little shreddies, 10 little shreddies in a line. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little engines, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little engines, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little engines, 10 little engines in a line.
Okay, oops, stop. So a really simple little tune that's easy to sing along with. You can use anything you like. Again, for FS2, FS1, FS2, lots of counting up to 10. So singing using the children's ideas or toys just reinforces that mathematical learning for the children. Yeah, so that song, Alison said bubbles, 10 little bubble, oh, pop, pop, pop. So with the bubble machine, all the bubbles falling to the ground, brilliant. Great, let me just get my better screen up. Okay, so there's another simple song that I do a lot. It's the tune of London Bridge is Falling Down, and you need your sock again. And we're going to sing Everybody Wave Your Socks, Wave Your Socks, Wave Your Socks, Everybody Wave Your Socks, Ready, Steady, Stop. I need my sock. So okay, everybody wave your socks. Off we go. Everybody wave your socks, wave your socks, wave your socks. Everybody wave your socks. Ready, steady, stop. Everybody wiggle your fingers, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your fingers. Everybody wiggle your fingers. Ready, steady, stop. Brilliant. So great for practicing stopping and starting, obviously, and just listening to song instructions. I know that we just try and do that as much as we can. We all talk too much. So song instructions are always great. It's also good to practice using any percussion instruments that you're going to be using, but also using any kind of props that you've got as well. So this time we're going to pretend that we've all got some Play-Doh. Can you roll it in your hands? Roly, 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 squash. Roly, 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 squash. And squeeze. Can you say it with me as well? Squeeze. And roly, 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 squash. Squeeze. Brilliant. Okay, everybody roll with me, roll with me, roll with me. Everybody roll with me. Ready, steady, stop. Everybody squeeze with me, squeeze with me, squeeze with me. Everybody squeeze with me. Ready, steady, stop. I did this with my 4-year-old yesterday and asked him what else we could do. I was hoping he might say something like make a snake or a snail or something, but he wanted to get a pencil and stab it. So we did lots of everybody stab, 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 stab. Everybody stab, stab, stab. Ready, steady, stop. Yeah, we moved on from that. Lovely spotty, stabby bit of Play-Doh at the end. Pom-poms. I've got loads of these lovely pom-poms. Can somebody unmute themselves and say what we could do with a pom-pom? Or write a note. What could we do with a pom-pom?
Cleaning.
Cleaning?
Cleaning the windows.
Brilliant. Okay, let's all clean. Brilliant. Oh, let's do clean your car. Everybody clean your car, clean your car, clean your car. Everybody clean your car. Ready, steady, stop. Can you show me your windscreen wipers now? Wish, swash, swish, swash, swish, and stop. Brilliant. Everybody go up and down, up and down, up and down. Everybody go up and down. Ready, steady, stop on your head. That's always a funny one. Got red hair, you've got yellow hair. Woo! Great. And scarves.
Sorry, Polly. Sorry,
yeah.
Sorry, Polly. With the pom-pom songs, are you assuming they've all got a pom-pom too? This is when you went into a nursery and gave everybody a pom-pom.
Yeah. So yeah, that's going in. Although I have seen some clever things with carrier bags where you cut up a carrier bag and just put sellotape round the holder end, which is quite effective with, I mean, like Sainsbury's bags, when they're cut up, they look quite good as pom-poms.
Sorry, I've just remembered, sometimes you see bunting as well. If you go to a party shop, you can get bunting that has little, sort of like little mini pom-poms hanging from it. So you only need to buy one thread, and you get about 20 pom-poms from it, and the kids love them. They're quite, you know, they're smaller, but they're quite sturdy to wiggle around.
That's a great idea. Yeah, brilliant. Again, the same song with the scarves. I saw Jimmy Rotherham the other day doing a session using toilet roll. So instead, if you haven't got a scarf, you can use a toilet roll or a tea towel, or a pair of pants if you're at home, not at the school. And this song again is just great for this kind of thing. So can you imagine you've got your scarf, everybody go round and round, round and round, round and round, everybody go round and round, ready, steady, stop on your head. Great. Everybody go draw a triangle, 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 everybody draw a triangle, ready, steady, stop on your lap. Again, the thing with props as well, just with crowd control, I always try and remember to tell them to do something positive with the prop rather than say, oh, put it away, don't play anymore, don't do that scarf, you know. So if you're telling them to put it on their head at one verse, on their shoulder in the next verse, squidged up in their hand for the next verse, and then in their pocket at the end, or under their grown-up's bottom. Or if I'm doing a session where they keep their props, I don't often do that, but at the beginning, if I kind of say that this is your special keeper of the props, so they have to put everything underneath their scarf, and they just wrap it up in like a parcel in front of them. So, and then throughout, if you just keep going, oh, cover everything up, keep everything safe. So it just keeps it in that space as well. Quite useful for that. And just while we're on the scarves, as well as loads of other things you can use it for, it's really good for the Jolly Phonics warm-ups, warm-ups for songs. So d, 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 like banging a drum in the phonics, polyphonic scheme. The p is like blowing out a candle. So again, you're starting to teach them about how your voice works, how your mouth shapes work, how the wind, you know, the is a good one to really get them pronouncing the phonic sounds really well. I thought I'd throw in, yeah, we'll come back to the scarves in a bit. I thought I'd play, we do Steve Grocot's song, which is, he's got this on his Bandcamp website, so if you want to have a look at that. And he's called it Lazy Days, but I've changed it with his permission because he's a lovely man, to What Should We Do at Home Today? But I slightly made a different version as well. So, what shall we do at home today? Home today, home today. What shall we do at home today? All day long. This was my desperation of what the hell do you do at home with a 4-year-old all day long and a 2-year-old. So you could then just introduce anything that you're going to do all day. So, or if you're going to do a session, if you're doing, say, a 45-minute session and you want to introduce the props that you're going to play in that session, or if you're doing aliens or space themes, let's all make an alien's hat, alien's hat, alien's hat. Let's all make an alien's hat all day long. So that was with a colander and some pipe cleaners that we made those with. Let's all make a song cube. We also did with that one. So just a tissue box with different nursery rhyme songs on. Throw the dice and that's the song you sing. And then we also made some flower fish. Let's all make a flower fish. Sorry, I've just been interrupted by a 4-year-old. So yes, this is really important. Can you say a quick hello to all these people and go and find Daddy?
Mummy, I really like the spoons that you painted.
You like the spoons? Okay, you can have the spoons because we're finished with them. Can you take them down and show Ronnie?
Yeah.
Thank you. Go. I need that.
Well, I really like it.
Frank, off you go now. Okay. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about using animal puppets. Actually, in fact, I'm just going to show you one last prop and then you can take this downstairs. I saw someone use one of these in a workshop just at the beginning as a kind of warm-up thing. And it was a bit of kind of yoga, calm breathing. And if you, oh, well, I'll come back to the flower fish in a minute. So you use this, and as it opens wider, you take a nice big breath and then breathe out when it goes in. And you breathe in and you breathe out. So you can just start again to talk about your diaphragm and how you breathe and relax your body before you sing. Yes, go downstairs to see Daddy. Okay. So animal puppets. I've got a nice mix. Yeah, what is that called? Does anybody know what that thing is called? The expanding ball thing. No. We'll try and find out and add it to the thing. I call it a breathe ball. Oh, millennium ball. There we go. Just make a note of that. Yeah, nice. I've used them in my concerts as well. Yeah, kind of stocking fillers on Amazon. They're really cheap. I've used them in our concerts. So often if we have a really calm piece of music, I did a concert, what was it? We did a tabla and santur concert. It's really kind of beautiful, calm, relaxing music. And we used those balls and it was really magical. Everyone really focused on the sounds, bagpipes as well. Anything that's got kind of breath in it was really effective. Expanding sphere ball. Brilliant. Yeah, Wilco's, Amazon. Great. Okay, back to puppets. So there's loads of animal puppets out there. Puppets by Post, Trulela, Trullala. I've just bought a whole load for a new project I'm starting with loads of jungle animals. The really kind of lovely quality, quite big puppets. This is the Puppet Company. Or over the years, there we go. Over the years, I've just gathered up loads of other character puppet are just really cheap. This one's from Little Town, but that was a really cheap one. I think that came from Aldi in their middle aisle. Dinosaurs, sharks, like this. Different ones, kind of monsters, voices, gremlins, fuzzy bees, just that real variety of make-believe characters, animals, that really expand the children's ideas. The biggest thing, obviously, with puppets is that you can direct your singing and your questions to the puppet and not the child. So especially good for children who are more shy. There's less expectation and pressure on those children. I've got a couple of little videos to show you of some children doing some activities. So this is called Who's Got the Rabbit? I think I did this at one of the previous NYMAZ events. A nice little simple song in a project that I led in the southeast of Sheffield. Some of these children's language is very much delayed, so this is a really amazing achievement for some of these children.
And my crocodile. I'm not very good at that. I keep losing them. Who's got the rabbit? Who's got the cat? Who's got the crocodile? And we sing, and we sing.
Oops. So, oops, sorry, there we go. Pause. So those children are taking turns. They hide their puppets behind them and then solo singing to answer those questions. Really lovely. Do do do. Just I hear thunder, Farajaka. Simple call and response. Obviously start with the more confident children so they can start to demonstrate it. If you've got parents as well, I would still start with the more confident children. I start with a confident parent, but often the parents are more reserved than the children. So the children can demonstrate and then they start to gain confidence. If they're really unsure, I'd get them to put it right in front of them to sing the answer, so they're almost covering their face as well. Right, we have another little song. This is Two Little Dicky Birds. In fact, Vicky helped me with some of these lyrics. I wanted to do more types of birds. So here is my extended version of Two Little Dicky Birds.
This is a little rhyme all about different birds. Two little dicky birds sitting on a wall, one named Peter, one named Paul. Fly away, Peter, fly away, Paul. Come back, Peter, come back, Paul. We could do it with some other birds as well. What could we do? How about two feathery chickens sitting on a table, one named Doris, one named Mabel. Fly away, Doris, fly away, Mabel. Come back, Doris, come back, Mabel. Two little woodland birds on a leaf, one named Frank, the other one Keith. Fly away, Frank, fly away, Keith. Come back, Frank, come back, Keith. Two colourful parrots sitting on a bed, one named Charlie, the other one Fred. Fly away, Charlie, fly away, Fred. Come back, Charlie, come back, Fred. Maybe you could make up your own versions. Maybe you could film yourself saying them and share it on.
Yeah, so again, two little, yes, so we've got a note here, two little caterpillars sitting on a leaf, one named Andrew, the other one Keith. Yeah. brilliant. So birds, any animals. One of my I do quite a bit of training about how to use nursery rhymes, and for me and so many other people, we get so stuck using nursery rhymes in the same way, and we always do the same lyrics, and you could change so many songs to whatever you've got as well. So yeah, and actually the children find it funny as well if you make up those kind of different versions, sometimes on the hoof, sometimes not. Great. And then doggy doggy, where's your bone? This isn't totally clear on here, but this is some children singing in a project that I led, just in free play. So they were singing along together. So here we go.
The doggy doggy.
Doggy, doggy, where's your bone? Someone stole it from my house.
And stole your bone.
And doggy.
So that was just a very brief version of that. Sorry, let's close that one. But if you don't know doggy doggy, where's your bone? You have your dog, and if you don't have a bone, you can use a phone. Doggy doggy, where's your phone?
Someone stole it from my home.
Who stole your phone? I stole your phone. Really, really effective, with one child being the dog, one child having the phone, and then all of the other children singing the questions. So again, you're introducing questions and answers, you're introducing different voices, characterization, and yeah, great fun. They can then choose the next child to be the dog. If you don't know that, it is on our YouTube channel as well in the activities. We're going to whiz through some other little activities. There's a song, Roll the Ball, which is on my YouTube channel, which is on there, using 3 different sizes of balls. So if you're after a ball song, roll the ball, roll the ball, roll the ball to Lydia. Hello, Lydia, who rolls it back to me. Different dynamics with different size balls. It's a really helpful one. A phonic song, Animals, the Pizza Hut song, with different jungle animals. Slinky snake, a slinky snake, a cheeky monkey and a slinky snake. Lion, a lion, a cheeky monkey, slinky snake. Oh, see, it's tricky to sing the sounds. But again, something else to do with the animals. Make a sunshine on the ground is another one on there, using any yellow objects or props, so your pom-poms, sunshine, bees. Make a sunshine on the ground, make a sunshine on the ground, make a sunshine on the ground, make it big and round. So those kind of big shapes that, again, in nurseries and foundation stage, they like, and Mr. Maker on telly, and probably good old-fashioned arty TV programs where they make those kind of giant art creations using other props. So use the props, but do a song to use the props in another way. Spoons, again, Aiken Drum. If you don't know Aiken Drum, we did this at a session at NYMAZ. A great song to use paper plates and spoons and different food pictures or props to make his face. There's a link on the handout to Aiken Drum as well. Another quick tip that a friend of mine, if I'm honest, I haven't done many online group sessions at all. I've tended to do more filming and home concerts. But a friend of mine taught me the 5 currant buns. So if the children get together, have a coin and a biscuit or a bun, it's really nice to bring the coin. So you were to give me a coin and I take it away, and you bought a currant bun. I'm giving you my currant bun. It's a biscuit actually, but bought a rich tea biscuit and took it away. But using the screen and props. I'm sorry, I've just shown your little one a biscuit. I thought I'd also show you one of these little swishers. This is just a hairband and thin bits of ribbon, which I just sat in front of the telly and made about 100 of these. But again, just a really simple but colourful and baby child friendly washable prop to wave around for listening to music. So this brings us on to the last section. Blimey, the time's flown. So as I said, my concerts, a lot of them about listening to music, and how we often play. I've done it with orchestras, so they play normal orchestral music. Pete and Frankie have done a gig, Mambo Jumbo, flute beatboxer, so a string quartet, that kind of thing. So we just choose some repertoire and do sensory using props and things to bring it to life. So I know a lot of you use light balls, but all of my concerts, once the musicians are ready, we turn on a couple of these, and in a dark room, it's not so effective, is it? But in a dark room, the lights go on like this, which catches their attention, and then everyone is listening to the musicians as they start playing a few seconds later. I also use these for calm music, any rainbow songs or music that people play, listening to Katy Perry's Fireworks that we all had the other night. Again, in concerts, we use Lycra, or we use these, I have a Moon and Stars, like a Lycra, a giant parachute type thing, and get the children underneath for lullabies and to sleep, and then gently rocking it above them so they're listening to the music and going to sleep, or listening to Benjamin Britten's Storm from the 4 Sea interludes, or that kind of music. So you're creating the sea effect. We like to use star wands for conducting, looking through. I've also done a concert with I've forgotten the word. So it's an accordion player, but he played like one of those things that you blow through, but it's a really calm melodica. Yes, thanks Pete and Frankie. So they played a really beautiful Scottish melody, and it was about the wind on the cliffs in Scotland. And I thought it would be fun to get all of the grown-ups to have a windmill, and again to put this in front of have their babies in between them looking at this, and to blow into it. And the babies were totally transfixed on the windmill, and they completely listened, and it supported the whole atmosphere of the music. So the wind sound from the grown-ups' mouths. Also, if your child is looking at you and you're going like this, you look really engaging, you look really interesting. It's like you're doing something. And also it stopped the natterers at the concert, the parents who still can't stop talking, got them doing something. So actually I loved using that and must use it again. It's reminded me that I've got about 50 of these in my spare bedroom. kitchen utensils. Only in the last few years, which track would you recommend for the wheel? I'll have a think about that. I'll have to come back to you. I've just discovered Vaughan Williams's March of the Kitchen Utensils. Has anyone used that? No, I can't believe I'd not heard it before. It's such a great piece for using spoons and other kitchen utensils. And it's kind of 8-bar phrases. And at the end of each 4 sets of 8-bar phrases, there's this great big saucepan crash. So it's brilliant. It's a march. You can just play along in time. And there's a YouTube video which has even got different pictures of kitchen utensils. So that is, yeah, good thing for listening to. And I'll finish with bubbles. We use bubbles in most of our concerts. Has the 2 opposite effects: babies, calm, totally focused, beautiful, calm, quiet music. This one, and the older children, 2s, 3s, 4s, just totally winds them up, goes completely bonkers. What on earth am I doing? Why are we doing this? So I'm going to share a little video now with some bubbles. Last year I created a 24-hour soundtrack of music for families with 0 to 5-year-olds. And the idea was that there was one piece of music that represents each hour of the day for a family with 0 to 5-year-olds. And I managed to wangle the most amazing musicians to film a piece from all around the world. I can't show you loads now, but like Stephen Isserlis did a cello courant for running around the garden. Roderick Williams did a song about toast. We had a beatboxer flute doing a dancey one in the morning, walking the dog, loads of really amazing. You must watch Pekka Kuusisto, who did a 4 a.m. lullaby. But this one was the Moonlight Midnight, which is Martin Roscoe. And we just encourage people to listen to it with bubbles. And I'll just give you a little taster of that.
Some bubbles.
Whoops, here we go.
Watching them fall through the air.
So we'll pause that there. Stop share. Sorry, there's a slight delay on my laptop. So all of the songs that we've done today are on the Concertini's YouTube channel, if you fancy having a listen, and feel free to share with any of your children. And subscribe to the channel, as we should all be doing more of now that we have to market our online stuff better. And I've nearly finished, but does anybody have any questions to start with? What we might do actually is there's a questionnaire that they've asked, well, Grace asked me earlier to ask if people might be willing to do that questionnaire feedback now while you're here and in the room and everything's fresh. And if you want to do that, let me see, was that in that note? Yes, so the link's there. And if anyone has any questions or any songs or thoughts that you'd like to share now, we've got until now for a while, and actually everyone's around till 6:30. So if you need to leave, do feel free. Jennifer.
Hiya. Thank
Hello.
you so much for this session. It's been wonderful.
Oh.
I was going to ask, what kind of, for a session with, say, a 20-minute session with an SEND group who are kind of non-vocal, but also very limited in their interaction kind of with the activities, how would you kind of structure a session like that in terms of what have you found to be beneficial for them? Is it like chopping and changing like activities quite a lot, or kind of really just keeping with one thing and being quite calm about it? I'd really appreciate your feedback on that.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's quite a movable thing, I think, and it's something that needs to be risked all the time. I often find that I've planned far too much, have far too high expectations, and then there's other times when you just whiz through things so quickly, or some of the things that you'd hope to do just didn't work for those children, so you need to be able to move on to something else. I mean, I would, in a 20-minute session, I suppose I would choose to focus on perhaps one sensory element or one prop or one puppet. So if you have your main focus on the lycra, if you were to have, before you get the lycra out, if there's some kind of welcome song or a hello song or a kind of collective gathering everybody together kind of feel to it, and then a few activities using the lycra, and yeah, just pitch it, yeah, to kind of respond to what's happening all the time. And if they have any ideas, I mean, in 20 minutes, in some ways, if you can respond to what they're doing, you know, with the lycra, if they're doing lots of bouncing, it might be that you then stick with the bouncy songs because that's particularly working. Or if it's very bouncy, just suddenly do something very calm and underneath. Yeah, and responding to their ideas is always a good thing to do, especially with more challenging groups of people that you need to really respond to. Any other questions, thoughts, your own ideas of songs that you've used those props for? Any holy lycra songs? Yeah, Kate.
I have a little boy that comes to my class. He's non-verbal at the moment, but we don't know why. He's having some investigation doing. He's hard to keep engaged. So I said to Mum, I said, I'm going to bring puppets when we're allowed back after COVID. And I'm going to try and just get him a little bit more focused and engaged because he's always running off. What songs would you recommend to try and keep him, but also to try and get him communicating with us? He isn't going to sing, here I am, or anything like that. Is there anything really, really simple?
How many other children and what age are they?
He is about 2, and there's 2 to 3 year olds and some babies in that. I can only take 4 in that group at the moment because of distancing.
Oh, right, yeah.
Well, we're not even running at the moment, obviously. But yeah, there's a 1-year-old, a 6-month-old, 2-year-old, yeah, around that age. So it needs to be nice and simple, because the ones that I've written down that you've done, they're more sort of if you want to go into a nursery, but these are parent and baby groups that I'm in.
I could think at age 2, in some ways, you're probably noticing it more than anybody else, and I would tend to just keep watching and see there may be so many ways that he's absorbing things in other ways, and listening, but just not responding in the way that we think that we would like them to respond. And it might be that there are other kind of signs of what he is actually doing, that he is actually responding, or he is actually taking things on. And actually at 2, they're so young, aren't they, that it's quite rare that actually that age would really confidently sing on their own, or even talk on their own to strangers. So I think lots of familiar songs, repetition, lots of friendly smiles, lots of eye contact, keep building up the puppets, even really noticing really small amounts of confidence development. So even if he held the puppet, or even if next time he puts his hand in the puppet, or at the end of a session, can you do a bit of time with him, even a minute or 2, where you could say, oh, could you just look after this puppet for me, or can you just put these puppets in the box, or can you tidy up for me, or that kind of thing. There might just be something that gets through. I don't know.
I guess I suppose I'm kind of doing all that already. I was hoping to maybe, I don't know, Elsie and I would play with the puppets all the time, and she'll be one character and I'll be the other, and they're a similar age. So when I sit
at home,
I don't know.
Could they get a puppet at home?
They could do, couldn't they?
Or send them some links to try at home as well. Does anyone else have any particularly good ideas of songs for that, or ideas particularly?
Could you do something like the one there was a video of, where the children had the puppets hiding behind their back, but they don't actually have to sing anything back, they just have to show it and make it appear at the right moment, maybe, so there's no pressure on them to say anything at all, just to do something and reveal it and then put it back.
Or doggy dance, how are you, do a dance, how do you do, or something like that. So it's something else that's not verbal, but starts to get the way in. It's one to think about. I'm interested.
It's not with puppets, but the only one that I've kind of found that works kind of to bring non-verbal children like out of their shell is like shake and stop, like we're going to shake and shake and shake and stop. And I've had kids kind of just say stop, like that's the only thing that they'll know to say. So I guess that's an idea.
That's a great idea. And just starting with them singing just their name or something very familiar, or whispering. Is he whispering at all at the moment? Or quiet talking?
Not really, it's more like type thing. You can stop.
I would keep up the communication with the family and the parents, and then when they're in a more formal setting with teachers and early years practitioners, and then SEND practitioners, because it's no doubt across all areas of development, and it takes time. God, go downstairs, please. Do you use microphones as props to encourage participation? Yeah, I like to use microphones, or what do they call them? Talking heads, to encourage the children, or recording their voices on a phone and then playing it back to them. Yeah, just encouraging them to listen to themselves, definitely. Any more? Then we have a little parrot puppet. Amy.
Yeah. Do you have any top tips for transferring this work online? I was running sessions at the Children's Hospital and now doing them on Zoom. Yeah, what's your experience with using puppets and props online?
Yeah, I think, like we said earlier, it's only what you've got that you can show to them. And from being to sessions with my 2 children, I know it's just so tricky, but actually when you had the puppets appearing, actually the sock puppets, it looked amazing when I was watching you doing the sock puppets, and I could imagine that would be interesting for the children on screen, and then you could see what different types of socks you have, and that looks interesting on the screen. But even, you know, if you're kind of doing stories and you kind of build up the characters coming in, and you kind of it's almost easier with puppets on a camera because you really believe in them, because you can't see your arm. And this one's not so good because his mouth doesn't move, but certainly using the screen almost like a stage or a side of a screen, or, you know, a kind of double act of on a screen would be easier. Yeah. Certainly you using puppets is great online, I think.
Polly, could I just interrupt for a moment, because people are dropping off when they have to leave. So I just wanted to, well, say thank you very much, first of all. We've had loads of brilliant feedback already on the chat, so people got tons out of it. Thanks for sharing all your ideas. And just to let everybody know, we will be releasing 2 further dates for song shares over the course of this month, so keep your eyes peeled. We do have an upcoming webinar with Nate Holder as well. I'll just bear with me. That's 4:30 till 6:30 on the 9th of February, and that's looking at decolonisation of the musical canon in the early years. And yeah, just if you have time to stick around till 6:30, we're going to keep the room open, so please stay on, stay and chat and share more ideas. You're free to stay till then. So I have to go for a teaching commitment now, so I will be saying goodbye shortly, but thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you at the next sessions. My colleagues Grace and Laura are going to stay online for now though. All right, bye-bye.
Brilliant, thank you.
I just love all your songs, and I've watched quite a few of the music in the round YouTube clips over the time. One of our favourite ones is your secret animal song with the secret animal bag.
Yeah.
And I've used that really successfully in nurseries, and actually I've used something similar even with the Zoom classes that I'm doing at the moment. So if you kind of have a bag and you sort of hold it up, and you know, you can kind of get the children to engage in what's hiding.
Yeah.
If you can get them to guess. And we've adapted, we've done secret vegetable. That was really fun to do. The children were doing a food theme, and you know, so you can sort of change it to use different ideas. And it's, yeah, so I've just wanted to say thank you because that's definitely, and all the staff have loved it as well. They've all picked up on it and they've been singing it when I'm not there. And so yeah. And going back to the puppets, I found actually that it's working really well with the Zoom classes at the moment, because you're just getting the kids to bring along something, any puppet really, or any soft toy, and getting them to engage. We've been doing lots of hiding them around the room, and you know, we hide them under a cushion and then we sing a song and they come out, and it's actually worked fine, you know. It's actually been quite liberating in some ways, because you know what it's like in a class situation and you've got to have one of everything for everybody.
Yeah,
of course,
absolutely.
when they're at home they can just, you know, this morning we did mice, and one had a tiny little wooden mouse, and you know, one had a puppet, and quite a few of them had knitted ones, so we had a whole conversation about that. So yes, it was really, really good fun. So
yeah, brilliant. Oh, that's great. Fantastic. Does anyone else have any other things that work particularly well online as well then? God.
I was just going to say I really agree with you, Alison, that being online has been quite liberating in terms of using props, because if we don't have enough for one of everything for everyone, of you know, some of the props we only have one of anyway, so it's always a bit stressful if someone feels left out or they don't get a turn. It's been really nice to think, well, actually it doesn't matter because no one can touch this prop apart from me. So we've just enjoyed looking at it, and I think you've given us lots of really good ideas, Polly, about how to be more creative and how to make the puppet respond to what we're saying or singing or doing as well.
Yeah.
Using the socks.
I think as well the idea of using nursery rhymes, again, you know, I had a bit of a thing with nursery rhymes for a few years, and I know a lot of us try and avoid quite a lot, but so many children, so many adults do know nursery rhymes, and if we use them as hooks and just change the lyrics, it's very easy to do a song and just pop in a puppet's name here and there to make it really accessible. And for us to just, you know, just keep all the time, you know, I've got this what am I going to do with it? Think of all the songs that we could change the words to, and make everything more adaptable, and then every session can be like, if you have a whole theme of mice, I love that. That's great. Brilliant.
Following on from you, Frances, before when I was face to face, as you say, I would have the puppet and they would react to it. What I've done for one school is they all have their own individual bag, which I've isolated and then given to the school. So they all have a bag. And when I'm delving inside my bag, you know, I'm making a big thing of it, and they go, "Oh, I've got one too." And then I've got one. So it's made them have something that they wouldn't have had before. They all have a bag with a scarf or a puppet or a something in that they then use, which I perhaps wouldn't have done before.
Yeah.
You can have that, and then next week you can have it, and then the week after that you can have it. But now they've all got it. So that's I've gone the other way. They've all got one now, and they wouldn't before.
And there are so many things around the house, aren't there, that we can use, you know, that if we just start to think about things differently, you know, it doesn't have to be expensive, and it doesn't have to, you know, have been ordered or had for years or anything. It's quick. What can we do?
What was your flower fish? I like the headband with the ribbons on, but I didn't know what a flower fish was.
Oh, so we had some old daffodil heads, and we just made shapes of flower fish. So it was just a fish shape, just using the heads of the daffodils, which again is that kind of thing of using what you've already got, but just use it to sing, you know, sing everything.
So talking about when I first went into lockdown for one school, I was very I was allowed to go into the school, which was really nice, but I was at the other end of the hall and they were right at the other end.
Right.
We were doing the shake and shake and shake and stop. Well, I couldn't get them to have the instruments because it was the school instruments. What could we do? Oh, right, yes. So they went for a walk and we collected acorns. So we did a counting song with acorns, and I got loads and loads of plastic, I think it was peanut butter or something, plastic pots, and managed to get 20 odd of those, which was great. So they all had to put 5 acorns in each, and then if they were put in the box and quarantined, and I brought them home, got them out after, and they'd started to shoot. So they started to grow roots, which was brilliant, because next week I didn't actually clean them. I took them in, and then we used it, and then they went off with their teachers with their pots, and then discussed about they could plant that, and
yeah.
And that would never
Brilliant.
happen before lockdown.
Yeah, and actually, when you think, one of the things we kind of all talk about is making everyday musical, so normalizing music. And until we do it that it's accessible to everybody and it's normal and it's appealing in every day, you know, you don't have to have a ukulele, you don't have to have a cello, you don't have to have this kind of magical ability to play an expensive instrument. You know, we can sing songs about everything all around us. And I really don't think I would have thought like that a year ago about props and puppets. So in fact, it's really, it's really interesting to actually just do this talk, because before I just would have really focused on your lycra and scarves and pom-poms and things like that. So yeah.
Because they liked Kate, was it you that really got the little boy? I had one boy who would not interact at all, pretty much for the whole first year, and then when he got a bit older he interacted. But when he had this little pot that had the acorns in, he shook it and shook it and shook it and really got engaged. And then from that, when they're out in the playground, hopefully they'll go and pick stones and things, you know, make music with just everyday things at home.
Can I just jump in, because I'm going to have to go shortly? Toddler. Polly, I'm fascinated with the fact that you've done work for CBeebies. How did that come about?
So that's kind of in the road shows, the live road shows. So it isn't any telly stuff. It's the kind of live events. I know, boo. We did some Nutcracker when they've done the telly, when they do the TV Christmas specials, they also go to locations. So they do live events for local people who can't get in the theatre to see the actual show. So I did some stuff with Melody, the girl who plays Melody, and some workshops, basically, some all based on the Nutcracker story. But I am just about to pitch to CBeebies for trying to do something with them, with live musicians, because I love CBeebies. In fact, one of the videos that I want to make at some point is about how we can encourage watching TV and really use the musical programs, because they're brilliant. I mean, Yolanda's Band Jam is just great, and even Rara, the Noisy Lion, there's so many great programs on there, and yeah, I wanted to talk about that at some point. But
just wondered, because I have a farm and I have my music and I'm combining the two in real life, and I just thought I'd make a really cool CBeebies thing.
Yeah,
you know, see the lamb, music.
Yeah.
Don't know how you go about doing it though, but
yeah, combining Down on the Farm with music Down on the Farm. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I just keep bombarding them, and yeah.
So basically, you get in touch with them. They don't put out a search for somebody to do, and you go, oh, I could do that. You put to them.
Yeah, I mean, I was approached to do the road shows. I didn't contact them, so I was just really lucky. But this pitch, I just like stalked CBeebies website and then asked someone, they knew someone else, and then tried to get a contact. And I still haven't actually got the right person at the moment. And again, nowadays, like, they're probably so overwhelmed by having to change their whole strategy, and they're filming, you know, from home, and they'll probably do programs differently for the next year than they've had planned for ages, which is a potential opportunity. But yeah, well,
I just thought I'd ask. So thanks.
Yeah, interesting.
But I have to go now. I'd love to stay till the end, but the children are baying.
Kate, one thing I wonder though, Kate, have you filmed anything on your farm? Like, could you do some film for your own work that you do?
A tiny bit on YouTube.
Yeah.
there's a tiny bit from last lambing time, and then this lambing time, so that's coming up at Easter. I've actually sold tickets for people to come to the farm and do music at the farm while we watch the lambs. So I recorded some on YouTube at lambing time last year during the first lockdown, which seems a long time ago now.
Yeah. Because that sounds like a great business opportunity in itself anyway. And if that worked and you could get that going more at the moment, it might well be that if you get filming content, you've got years of future watchers who would like to watch your content. But it might be, that's the kind of thing that hooks CBeebies in as well. If you go something like this.
My brother-in-law is on MTV on Celebs on the Farm coming up.
Oh wow.
And on the farm next door to us, their farm. So if anybody wants to see that,
yeah.
Right, I really must go.
Brilliant. Nice to talk. Yeah, lovely.
Bye everyone. I'll leave the meeting now.
All right, lovely. Any other thoughts or chats or anything? Feel free